Am I the asshole for telling the lady to put her dog back in the carrier on the airplane? I, 35M, had to fly to LA this morning on Delta and I had an aisle seat. It was a smaller plane with 2 seats per side. No TV or movies on this flight and I wasn't paying for Wi-Fi, so just me and my music. 10 minutes into the flight, the lady, 40s, across the aisle was moving around and trying to get in her personal item. She busts out a dog. In my head, I'm like, what the fuck? I'm not dog friendly, so I tell the lady firmly, you better put the dog back in the carrier. She says it's cramped in the carrier, and the dog would rather be in her lap. I tell her to put it away or this can be a bigger scene for you. She reluctantly put it away. The rest of the flight she would baby talk the dog and call me the asshole. I complained to the flight attendants after the flight. Am I the asshole? Everyone sucks here because that lady should have kept her dog in the carrier, which is Delta's policy, and, you better put that dog back in the carrier, is just not how you talk to other people when you want them to do something for you out of the gate. Next time just call the flight crew and ask them to handle it. Not the asshole for asking her to follow the rules. You are the asshole for being a dick about it. Ease up on the self-righteousness and life will get a lot more pleasant for you generally. You are the asshole solely for your approach. What an insane way to speak to someone. You do sound like an asshole. So you, a man, told a woman. This can be a bigger scene for you, after you, firmly, told her what to do. Instead of calling a flight attendant. Instead of saying, hey, I'm afraid of dogs, even small ones. Would you mind putting him away? And allowing her empathy to take over. You decided to use your perceived power in this world to inform someone they may be in danger if they don't do what you demand them to do. Think about this from any other perspective of someone who is larger than you telling you what to do right now without any kind of warning or previous conversation, and they are bigger than you, and they seem threatening. Does that seem like an asshole? Yes? Yada. TF is wrong with you. You realize you can communicate with people without being a jerk, right? You are the asshole for your unnecessary attitude. Esh, she should have kept the dog in its carrier, but there was no reason for you to get aggressive or threatening. A normal person would have called over a flight attendant and let them deal with it since it's, their job. Am I the asshole for not letting my sister ride in my car? I, 17F, bought an old car off of a family member about a year ago. My sister, 14F, seems to think that this means she should get automatic rights to ride in my car when she starts high school. I would not have a problem with this, except for the fact that she wears her cowboy boots everywhere. These boots she wears out to feed her horses and goats and doesn't clean them off afterward. She owns other shoes and my car has a cloth interior. I have asked to either wear other shoes and I can put a bucket in the truck to store her cowboy boots, yet she refuses. Then I will go and call me names over it. And I should just accept the fact that my car will get dirty. Admittedly, I am sort of a neat freak, especially when it comes to my car, because it is the first big thing that I own. When the conversation came of her riding in my car to high school after the summer, I refused, not only over her wearing the boots but also because it is extremely disrespectful towards me in general. I woke up at 6 a.m. to catch the bus for my first 2 years of high school, and with her attitude, I think her should do the same. Am I just being a neat freak or do I actually have a standing here? Too long did not read. Sister refuses to wear anything but deity cowboy boots. I do not want them in my car. Not the asshole, and from a livestock husbandry standpoint, your sister is practicing lousy biosecurity. Not the asshole. Your sister wants a ride from you, she changes the boots. If she wants to wear the boots, she needs to find a different ride. Not the asshole. Your car, your rules, if your sister doesn't like it then tough, no more rides for her. Not the asshole. But this is an issue you should talk about with your parents. When you talk to your parents about it, I suggest you don't frame it as forbidding your sister's boots specifically but instead explain that you want your car to stay clean as a rule for everyone. Then it won't seem like you're targeting her specifically. Your parents allow the manure boots in the house? I lived on a farm at one point and there were rules about barn boots in the house. Your sister's fellow students wouldn't give her grief about those boots in school? I second the suggestion about vinyl floor mats. I have them for regular city dirt and snow and I love them. But consider if getting them would be seen as caving in to sis's boots in the car. Not the asshole. It's your car. You get to ban shit boots if you want. Am I the asshole for telling my friend to stop telling me about his jealousy of women, especially lesbians? I, 23 female, am a lesbian and I have a friend, 23 male, who is straight. He hates being a man but he promises he isn't trans. According to him, women are divinely beautiful and we don't have to try to be beautiful. To him, men are physically gross and no non-delusional man can ever feel as beautiful as a woman. He talks about wishing he was born a girl. I feel sad during and after listening to him. I feel anxious because I don't want to do anything to make him feel worse. I told him to stop telling me about his jealousy of women, especially lesbians. He said I was being a bad friend because I'm the only one he can talk to. He said no professional can help him but they can't make him born a girl. Am I the asshole? He promises he isn't trans, give it a year lol. Not the asshole, and it does sound like he needs to talk to a professional. But as someone who is trans, the denial stage can be strong, so please be open to him if he does need to discuss something more serious. Not the asshole. Avoid anyone who asks you to stand in for a therapist because they refuse to see one. Not the asshole. That egg will crack eventually, though, bet you $1. There are therapists for this. He needs to be respectful of your boundaries. To me, this sounds a lot less like trans woman in denial, and more like person with low self-esteem dangerously close to falling for incel rhetoric. Like he's got a victim complex against women, who inherently have it easier than men because of their innate biological privilege, of divine beauty, or whatever. Women do not inherently have it easier, and not all women are considered beautiful. But he's convinced himself that being a woman is essentially playing life on easy mode, compared to him, a poor man who will always be bad and grows sad face. I think your friend needs serious help and to get off whatever part of the internet that he's on. You don't have to be the person to help him. Not the asshole, he needs a psychologist to listen to his problems. You're not one. Am I the asshole for joking I want a week to myself? For context, Mike, 31F, husband, 32M, broke his ankle the day before Memorial Day, which resulted in him needing surgery. With him unable to walk and on crutches, I have been doing everything for him and the kids. I've been doing all the household chores, mowing the lawn, taking kids to and from school, bringing my husband to appointments, all while working 40 hours weeks in a stressful job that just recently had 6 people leave and workload has tripled. I'm stressed, overwhelmed and exhausted. My husband had an appointment today and he is to start weight bearing as tolerated with his crutches and move up to weight bearing without them over the next month. So tonight after the kids went down, my husband and I decided to watch a movie together and eat some ice cream. After I finished my ice cream I mentioned I wanted something salty to munch on and he asked if I would get him some chips too. I jokingly, with a silly smile and tone, said, I guess I can do that, and I got up to get his chips and he said, however will I repay you? And wiggled his eyebrow in that sexy way hinting he wants me. I put on a big smile and said, with a week to myself. He laughed, I laughed and went to the kitchen to get chips. I came back and all of a sudden his demeanor changed and he looked at me and asked, should I go upstairs so you can start your week to yourself, in a salty tone. I instantly was defeated. I wasn't trying to fight with him. I was making a joke and he laughed, so I thought he understood it was a joke. I sighed, took my chips back to the kitchen and decided to go to bed. I did not have any fight in me to deal with this. He came upstairs shortly after and said, I'm sorry I'm not doing okay. I didn't respond because I didn't have a response, so he says, are you not going to acknowledge me? So I turn towards him and just stare at him. He then says, I'm sorry, it just rubbed me the wrong way and I know you're stressed and need time to yourself too. I turned back over and said it didn't matter. So Reddit, am I the asshole? Update. My husband and I talked. I apologized for my reaction of just shutting down and ignoring him and asked him about him not feeling okay. We had a good conversation about our mental loads lately and we both listened and understood the other. If I could take time off I would, but unfortunately I'm not able to and I'm also not in the financial position to hire outside help with my husband out of work. I appreciate everyone's perspective. When I initially shut down and walked away from him I just needed to regroup myself before talking it through. I have very poor self-worth, so my mind instantly goes into everything is my fault mode and my husband is fully aware of this. I'm grateful that we are able to just talk to each other, even if it takes us a minute to get there. Also, because this was brought up a lot, I had declined sex about 15 millings before we started watching the movie. I honestly didn't want to have to take another shower lol. Nah, you feel overworked and like shit. He feels useless and like shit. Illness, accidents, and other tragedies usually affect everyone and bring the worst from people. You two need to communicate and hug each other. It's alright, the storm will pass faster if you're a team than being enemies. I think ignoring him was asshole-ish, but you're burnt out. I'd have an honest convo with him. Explain that you do need some alone time and you're sorry if your joke landed wrong and hurt him, but you need to take care of you too. Nah, I've said that to family members and partners before. To be honest, he should kind of be at least somewhat aware that you've been stretching yourself very thin and are exhausted. He's not horrible for getting upset at it at all, but come on man, your wife is running herself ragged and surrounded by people who constantly need her to do things for them all day. I guarantee you if the roles were reversed, he'd at least be thinking the same thing to himself. Not the asshole. Caregiver burnout is a real thing. You already had a ton on your plate without your husband being man down with a busted ankle. You made a joke and he's reacting poorly. A great answer would have been, yeah babe, I really appreciate how you've looked after me and the kids during my recovery. You deserve some downtime when I'm back on 2 feet. Not the asshole. My husband tore his Achilles last year and I was so overwhelmed by taking care of everything for my job, which is super demanding, myself. Everything for him. Everything for the house, not to mention everyone constantly asking me how he was doing and never wondering how I was. It's overwhelming. I would have loved a week off after all that too, haha. Not the asshole, but FYI, most if not all have medical transport. You need to book it 24/48 in advance. They can pick him up and drop him off. I would hire a neighbor kid or college kid to mow the lawn. It's okay to look for a way to talk things off your plate. But he can go upstairs but not load a dishwasher? Do dishes? Nor even sitting on a stool? I get the broken ankle, but he should be doing some of the chores. He might not be able to scrub a tub, but a toilet or clean the mirror or bathroom counter, he should be able to do. He can't bear weight. Rollators are sold on Amazon for $80, they have seats. Many elderly can't walk but can sit on them and do things. He's upset, but he could help.